Hey guys.
Grace is back.
Yay, so excited.
It has been way too long since we had Grace in the video, so we're having Grace in the video.
Here I am.
And as we've done in the past, this is one of those videos where Grace doesn't know what we're doing. And it's not because I don't want her to know. I really do want her to know, and she will know, but I don't want to influence her experience with these fragrances with any preconceived notions. So she has no idea what we're doing. As far as I know, you might think you have an idea based on some conversations we've had recently, maybe even a couple days ago, but you'll see.
I don't actually have any idea.
Okay, I was wrong. Retract all of that. So let's just dive into it. How about that?
Perfect.
All right.
Sounds great.
So as usual, Grace will be smelling 10 fragrances. She will be smelling them blindly. They have been pre-sprayed on blotters, so they've been drying down. She's just going to tell us how she feels about them. She's going to rate them from 0 to 10, and we'll see if we can find some favorites. Everything is pretty much ordered as best as I could from freshest scent profile to heaviest, so to speak, or maybe lightest to heaviest. I'll say that rather than fresh to not fresh. Here's our first one.
Here we go. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, this one is very like incense resin heavy. It probably has more freshness, but it's gone at this point.
Okay.
Maybe been drying out for a minute. So I can definitely tell there's maybe some like greener citruses. To me, it kind of smells familiar, but I can't place it.
Okay.
It's a little powdery.
Okay. We already know that's a red flag.
I don't dislike it. I just wouldn't say it's my favorite.
Okay. How would you rate it?
6.
Spot on with so many of your assessments. Everything you said makes sense to me in terms of what you were getting and how you were feeling about it. Cool. Next one. As you guys know, well, maybe you don't know, we're going to reveal all the fragrances at the end just to keep things moving.
Ooh, wow. This one is so bright.
Okay.
Citrus.
Okay.
It smells yellow. Like that's how bright it smells to me. It's like very lemony, lemon lime. It kind of smells like lemon lime. There's almost like a carbonation to it, or like a...
Wow, like an effervescence.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really bright. I like it a lot. Great for summer. It's holding its presence really well.
Yes.
I would
That's good integrity.
say a 7.
Okay.
And a half.
7.5.
7? 7.
7. All right. 7. That's a solid score. It's above average.
Yeah.
You like it. That's basically
I really
what that
like
means.
it. It reminds me of like a fizzy lemon lime.
That sounds pretty good if you're asking me. Here's the next one.
This is a very interesting fragrance.
Indeed.
I actually really like it.
Okay.
It has a really interesting darkness that's hard to describe. Like it kind of smells like a tea.
I can see that.
Sort of like a cloudy, a little on the oud side, but then it sort of has that sort of ethereal, misty vibe that I get from fragrances with tea in them.
Ethereal and misty.
But then there's also there's a freshness as well on the top. It's a very kind of dual-sided.
I agree. There's a good little duality to it.
I really like this one. It's super unique. I would say 7.8. I've never smelled anything like it.
Wow. I like it, and so do you. Here's the next one. Wow.
Oh, wow. You've had me smell this one before. I smelled this on the Fresh Lounge live stream, which if you don't know about the Fresh Lounge, it's our membership. And if you haven't joined, you should. Then you get to hear my first impressions on the live stream, which we do once a month. And it's very exclusive and very great.
Both of those things, yeah.
So this is familiar
on the
to
live
you.
stream, I described this in a very bizarre way.
Yeah.
I described it as
I'm not going to tell you what I described because you have to join the Fresh Lounge.
but it has this really interesting duality. To me, it smells a little bit like a resin sweet.
Okay.
Almost in like a fruity way, like a dried fruit, and it has this dusty, earthy quality. I like it because it's unique, but I don't necessarily like the way that it smells, at least not on paper, and I don't know if I would like it on skin, but I would have to try it.
Yes, indeed. This is an odd one. It's an odd one.
It's interesting,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna give it a 6. It's definitely above average for uniqueness, but I wouldn't say that I would like gravitate towards it.
Not necessarily to your taste, but
Yeah.
objectively, it's like, yes, this is a very unique, interesting scent.
Is that from Mind Games?
It might be.
Okay.
Moving on.
It is. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, indeed.
It's a really interesting position that I'm in when I just unknowingly have to smell things.
It is kind of reckless when you think about what we do here.
Wow, this is a very, very animalic, darker, earthy vibe. Not for the faint of heart.
Agreed. How do you feel about it?
It's got a funk, you guys. I don't necessarily dislike it, but this is like a sparingly...
Definitely not something to dig your nose into like we're doing right now.
No,
so
I would recommend that you
don't follow our example here. Okay.
But I don't know. I feel like the jury's out. On skin, in the air, there is potential for this fragrance, but I'm smelling authentic funk, I would say.
At least it's authentic. How would you rate it?
Oh my gosh, I wish Gabri were here.
She would have left already.
If you haven't seen the videos with my sister, you have to. She is a natural comedian. Her opinions are truly epic, and you will never see another person rate fragrances like she does.
Ever.
So she is iconic.
We implore you. Check it out.
I'm gonna give it a 6.5 for originality and sourcing of ingredients, because I don't know what had to happen.
Okay.
I don't know what kind of...
It was nothing unethical, because that is against the law these days. Yeah. But I know where you're getting at. Let's move on. How about that?
Let's move on.
Okay.
I feel great about that.
There we go. This is a little easier on the nose, I think.
Oh, wow. This is a night and day situation. Wow. This is like a very warm, very sweet, like honey, a little bit of a coconut. Not like a tropical, but to me it smells like a very warm vanilla, tonka, ambery kind of a scent. It's nice. Yeah, I like it a lot. I would say 7.
Alrighty. I must say I'm surprised. I don't know if that's exactly what I expected from you with this one. That's what I expected.
Okay, this is like a white floral nose bomb.
Okay.
It's not distasteful. It's just smells like jasmine.
Okay.
And like tuberose. It smells like you're walking under blooming white florals in the spring, which if you're gonna use white florals, I would so much rather that they smell like an authentic white floral. So I don't actually mind it as much, but it's heavy.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like that I could potentially see myself trying this out.
Maybe a little bit more approachable than the funk.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely on the floral side, definitely on the spring side. I actually really like this. There is a little bit of like a honey or something in there.
How do you rate it?
I would say... Honestly, I'm going to give it a 7.
That turned around completely from what I thought. I thought we were just taking a deep dive, but you surfaced like a buoy.
Bobbing. I feel like I actually will, in the edit, I will be bobbing on the water.
I'll see what I can do. Pressure's on. Here's the next one.
Wow.
Once again, diving headfirst into a brick wall.
Honestly, I really love this.
Oh.
It's a really unique fragrance. It's like a cloudy citrus. It's like a bergamot. To me, it smells also a little tea as well, like a dusty, maybe there's some, I don't know, like vetiver or something in there too. There's almost like a dusty, earthy greenness to it. Not very sweet.
Okay.
Very interesting.
I really like it. I love things that smell different.
Yes. How would you rate it? Wow, our winner.
I think it's my favorite so far.
It sure is, based on the numbers. 2 more, and then we have the reveal.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what that is. I don't think I've ever smelled it before. Interesting. I feel like this one's either fading or my nose is dying.
It's pretty light.
Okay.
At this point, you want to respray?
Yeah.
Okay, we got a fresh spray. You feel reset?
Yes.
All right.
Interesting.
Indeed.
I feel like the thing I've said with almost everyone is unique. I think maybe the theme of this video is fragrances that don't smell like anything else.
Okay. We will see.
I can't even really describe this. It's a really unique blend.
Do you like what you're smelling?
I don't know.
Okay.
I really have mixed feelings. I'm almost smelling like an interesting like cherry or some type of a berry fruit.
A good nose.
And and then it's also a little bit darker, kind of on like this. It's like an evasive cherry in a cloud.
As we all have experienced at some point in our lives.
I don't know know if I really like it. To
Okay.
me, it's a little, it's a kind of, it just,
You had
it was
It's
a little weird.
It is a little weird.
Yeah, but I appreciate, again, the attempt at an interesting.
Swing and a miss. How would you rate it?
I'm going to give it a 5.
Okay.
It's really not appealing.
This
to
was a
me.
wild card. I knew you would appreciate it, but I didn't know if you would actually like it.
Okay.
So I think I was about right. And here's our final one.
Oh, man, that face.
Oh, wow.
I actually really like this one.
I had a feeling. This is a fork in the road here. People go left or right on this one.
To me, there's something about it that's like familiar. It's definitely a little bit animalic, but it's not in an obtrusive way.
Okay.
At least not to my nose. There's also something kind of warm and comforting about it.
Yes.
Almost like baking bread or something. Like there's something sort of like warm and cozy. I can't really even describe what I'm smelling. Maybe I'm smelling something almost like yeasty. I actually really like it.
Okay.
Like a lot.
This is consistent with what I've heard from you before
I
in this
don't
one.
know if I'm gonna give it a higher rating than my other one.
Okay.
I can't decide which one I like more. Can I smell the other 8? Those are so different.
Very.
I'll just give it an 8 because I really
Okay.
like it. I think
Okay.
it's super interesting.
You ready for the reveal?
Yeah, tell me what these are. I'm
we
so
go.
curious.
We're gonna try to breeze through
What
this.
is this video?
So, your assessments were very much stroking my ego because, yes, this video is more or less geared around interesting and unique fragrances to check out in 2024. It's that simple, but
Wow.
I wanted a cohesiveness, and apparently it was cohesive.
And that makes me happy.
As a content creator, trying to come up with interesting and cohesive ideas. Our first one
You
up.
are good at what you do. Can we agree?
It's been a few years, maybe. So here's the first one. You gave this a 6. I think you said it smelled kind of incensey, a little
Yeah.
green, but maybe a little powdery as well.
Yeah.
And you're pretty much right on. This is from a brand called Bon Parfumeur. It is a niche brand. They call this 603 Cure Encens and Tonka, which is leather, incense, and tonka bean. It also has a lot of violet leaf in it. The
Okay,
violet leaf
yeah.
can be green. I think tonka bean can be a little powdery with that sweetness, and incense, you got that right on the money. And there is a backbone of leather. It is known to smell a little bit like Dior Fahrenheit, which you
Oh.
don't necessarily like. I feel like it's maybe a little bit less
I would
abrasive than
I would
Fahrenheit.
agree it is, yeah. It
But-
actually even smells better on the second round, but
It is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a 6 for 603. So this one you said smelled bright and like sunshiny and yellow and citrusy and effervescent, and I agree. This is from a brand called Heeley. It's called Cologne Officinale. And it is kind of like a citrus aromatic, classic citrus aromatic fragrance, maybe borderline fougere, mossy, woody, clean, but with this masculine sophistication. This is like a little bit more classy, a little bit more refined, I would
probably
say.
especially on skin.
Definitely. Yeah, on skin it gets even drier and broader. I got to give this some more wear, especially as we
That's
move into
cool.
the spring. It's a really lovely scent. Our next one, you gave this a 7.8. You said it was
I really like
kind of
this
had
one.
a duality to it, kind of dark,
Mm-hmm.
but with this like maybe lightness or freshness to it. I don't remember what else he said
yeah,
exactly.
totally.
The newest from Zaharoff.
It is
This
so
is signature
good.
Black Rose Halfeti. And yeah, what I get out of this on skin, because it is, I kind of see the full effect on paper, but on skin it's even more. On skin, this is like the original Zaharoff Pour Homme, which you are maybe not completely crazy about, but it's kind of like the DNA of that, the fougere DNA of that inside of this very realistic, dark, warm rose that still has like freshness to it. It's almost like dry and almost even green in a way, but it's definitely dark and reflects a blackness or something dark of that nature, and the color of everything here reflects that too. It's a very unique take on rose. They've done it again. I mean, Signature Rosé was already a very unique take on rose, and here's another one. If you guys want some great rose options, especially ones that can easily be worn by men if you're squeamish about rose, Zaharoff is a great place to look. So this one was a 6. You said you like this one because it's unique, but you don't know if you actually think it's to your taste.
I can't really tell. Coming back to it, I don't know. Again, it's on, you
Yeah.
gotta try them on skin.
Yeah, you do. This is from Mind Games. You're right. And a lot of you guys have corrected me in my pronunciation of this. It's called Gardez because French, you guys don't believe in consonants at the end of words. You just pretend that they're not there. We're going to go with Gardez. It's great. So you get this like kind of resinous fruity feel. And there is a little bit of fruit up top, which I completely overlooked until you said it when we smelled it not that long ago. I'm like, there's maybe some apricot or something up top.
It's blackberry and...
You're right,
Yeah.
totally. And so there's some fruitiness, but I get popcorn and black leather seeds out of this fragrance. There's orris, there is a popcorn
That's
accord, there's black leather.
did say that.
It reminds me of the movies. For that reason, I love it. I love the movies. I grew up going to the movies. I love the smell of popcorn and all that. So this has a special place for me, but it is a little weird. It's a little different. It's not the most like, oh yeah, let me just spray this on and go out real quick kind of thing. You got to be like, do I want to smell like popcorn and leather with some fruit? I think I do. You put it on and you go. And you're going to smell like no one else. It's very unique. And I think if you don't overspray it, it can be a really nice vibe. And it will catch attention because people are like, I have never smelled anything like that outside of maybe the movies. But I mean, I don't think anyone's going to say that. Don't worry. It'll be fine. Moving on, 6.5. This one was the funk. Said it was a little animalic. Not for
Ooh,
the
it
faint
is.
of heart, as you said.
It is very...
Yes, and up close again, not ideal. And this is not what you're gonna do when you wear it, so just keep that in mind. But
into your nose.
I think they'll pronounce you dead on the scene at that point.
this is from Guerlain. This is called Bois Mysterieux, mysterious wood. It is based on leather. It's a very animalic leather, some woods that are very dry, spicy, but on the skin,
Is it castoreum?
I don't know if it is. I don't know if there's an actual animalic
Okay.
ingredient technically in here. On the skin, it actually balances out with this myrrh. There's a little bit of myrrh resin in there.
Have you worn it?
I don't know if I've worn it around you.
Okay.
But I have worn it. And I like the wearing experience because it's not up in your face.
Yeah.
And when it's just around you, it's like, that's so different and interesting. And it just continues to capture you. And again, if you don't overspray it, people will probably like you. And if you do overspray it, they will not like you. It's that simple. That's a 6.5. That's a fair rating. I think it's beautiful, but up close, again, not for the faint of heart. So you said this one was a 7. You said it was quite sweet, but it had this kind of warm, spicy, maybe cinnamon or like vanilla, tonka
Yeah.
bean vibe to it, but you really liked it.
I do.
Okay.
I do like it.
So this one is still growing on me, and I think it's because I have a not so amazing association to the scent. It's from a very interesting brand from Greece called Manos Gerakinis, and they call this Quintessence. And I couldn't tell you all the notes, I don't quite remember, but I do get something that smells like this. It smells red to me. But to me, unfortunately, it reminds me of a cough syrup that I used to take as a kid when I was sick, Robitussin. If you know Robitussin, I'm sorry, if you smell this, you might get that vibe. So welcome to the club. But I take it
Association.
you don't have experience with
No.
Robitussin. Well, then we're going to keep you as far
My
away from
parents
that.
were hippies,
Oh my God.
kind of.
So I'm glad you like this. I wasn't sure how you were going to take to it based on my experience, so I'm going to give it a wear around you. I haven't worn it around you. Went away for an elegant night out. Not going to overspray it because it's pretty strong. It can get really sweet if you're not careful. So here's the next one. So you gave this a 7, and you said it was like walking under a tree in
Yeah.
the springtime, realistic, authentic flowers blooming, maybe white florals.
Yeah.
I don't remember if there are actually white florals in there. It smells like there are, but I know carnation is a big
Interesting.
component of this one. This is from the Zaharoff universe from their brand Casamorati, and they call it 1888. And it is kind of like this ambery floral scent. So there is this sweet warmth to it. Heady without being too powdery, but definitely floral for
It's
sure.
not too powdery.
Yeah, I mean, some guys might find this maybe a little stuffy, maybe a little bit dated smelling, or some people might even say kind of old lady-ish. You gave this a 7. That was higher than I was expecting.
Yeah.
I do like this one, but I have to be in the mood for it. It's very particular for me. But it can be really posh smelling. You just smell real put together. Very confident. Okay, so this next one Got the highest rating up to this point in the video. This was an 8, and I don't remember exactly how you described it, but maybe you can remember.
I described it as a cloudy tea citrus.
That's right. Okay. And you really like this one.
I really like it.
Okay.
It's super unique.
So this was your first time smelling this one. I've been curious about how you feel about it. I've had it in the collection for months and months. This is from Oman Luxury, and it's called Oud Aquilaria. Definitely oud rose. There's a really pervasive apple note up top.
Interesting.
It's like a crisp apple. She's gonna probably jump up.
I know. Her little cameo. Come here, sweetie.
I think it's an easy wear for oud, but it's not weak. It's a very strong personality, not something you want to spray too many times, but it smells very unique. As per the title and topic of this video, so well put together by someone. This next one, you gave this a 5. You said this was like a cherry shrouded in a cloud or something like that. And you're pretty close. You said like a red berry, it's raspberry. But with oud and patchouli and maybe a few other things. This is from an Italian brand called Naso di Raza. They call
Ooh,
this...
look at that cat.
Have you ever seen a bottle like this? This is called Used Black. Very unique in every way, as you can see. We pretty much described it. It smells like nothing else. Nothing else. Check it out at the link down below. We'll try to link down to a sample. If you're looking for something very different, but quite elegant. I like that it's not terribly strong. Some people will like,
Well, it's niche. You know, if you're going to pay high price, you want it to last until next year.
no, you don't. And this is a weird fragrance. Trust me, you don't want everyone in the room to smell this. You want it to be discovered as you pass people and get close to them, and it's going to smell very different. And the final fragrance, you were very consistent on this. You've smelled this on me before, at least twice, I would say. You gave it an 8. You said there was something kind of warm and cozy about it, comforting, almost like bready, yeasty, I think was the word you used. I'm going to describe something. You tell me if you get it. It's okay if you don't. Smoky caramel.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is basically what this is, built on top of a pre-existing DNA from Cartier. Pasha de Cartier, Noir, Absolu. So really interesting for a designer.
It's so good.
Very
It's delicious.
different. Not going to be for everyone. I do think it is a little polarizing because it's so unique. Similar to the Naso di Raza, I think what it has going for it is that it's quite weird, but it's also not overwhelming. And I think combining unique strangeness with lightness, it's a great combination. It's a very masterful combination. Perfumers know what they're doing. If this was like balls to the wall, 10+ hours, beast mode, peeling paint, this would be disgusting. But when it's done elegantly, it's interesting. Accept perfumes for the way they are. And if you don't like it, move on. There's nothing to complain about. Just a little bit of shade for the end of the video.
Hey, man in charge. He can do what he wants.
We want to thank you guys so much for tuning in, Grace. It was great to have you once again.
Great to be here.
Sharing your opinions. They're always razor sharp. And once again, links to everything will be down in the description. If you want to join the Fresh Lounge and spend a little bit more intimate time with us on a monthly basis, hit that join button. It's going to take you to a page where you can learn more. You can get more information. You're not committing to anything right away. Just get the information. We made a little video. I think it's pretty cute. Watch the video and you'll get what you need. But thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. We'll see you in the next one.